What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And I have some good news and some bad news. First thing I'm going to do is hit you with the good news. And the good news is we have a woman here who's from South America, I believe. I don't remember which country it is. I think it may be Colombia, but that may not be completely true. But she is from South America. She is a Latin beautiful woman, in my opinion. I think she's very attractive. And she's the good news of this video. She is going to discuss what it is that men want, and more specifically, what masculine traditional men want. I don't know her age. She is relatively young, but the things that she's saying in this video is the things you should be hearing from older women. This is a difference between men and women. I've noticed is that men, when we go out in the world and make mistakes, we make it our goal and our mission to warn younger men on what not to do. So if we go out in the world and join a gang, sell drugs, go to prison, do all this kind of stuff, rob banks, whatever the case may be, we always go back out to the younger men and tell them not to do this. We use our life as a illustration, and we tell them not to do this, not to do that, and try to stir the younger men in the right direction. This is why we have shows like Scared Straight. If you notice, and anyone that's not familiar with Scared Straight was a program that they had that came out in the 70s, I believe, where it would take prisoners, convicts who are in prison with long stretches. Some of them had life, and they would bring in young juvenile males who were getting in trouble, and the prisoners would speak to the young men to try to deter them from the road that they're going down, to kind of scare them straight with their prison stories and the loneliness, the isolation, the violence, and all this other stuff. If you notice, Scared Straight is always men. It's always male prisoners talking to male juvenile youth. Then they updated it like a decade ago, where it was still the same concept, but now they had women mixed in with the juvenile males that the prisoners was talking to. But the point stands that Scared Straight is always older men speaking to the younger men, the younger generation, trying to help them get their life straight, trying to tell them not to do the things they did. You don't have the same shows for women. You don't have the same guidance for women. Older women have no interest whatsoever in steering and guiding younger women to do better in life. Older women who never married, never had kids, and who regret it, had 1,000 bodies, did a whole bunch of different things, once divorced, twice divorced, whatever the case may be. All the baggage that they accumulated and they acquired through poor decision making, bad decisions, choosing bad partners, walking away from marriages, not getting married even though they'll tell you they've been proposed to, 4 different times. Instead of them going to the younger women and counseling them and telling them what not to do so they won't end up like them, they go to the younger women and give them the same bad advice that they receive that led them to a life of loneliness and no calling in life, no higher calling. They're just existing, but there's no family, there's no husband, there's no kids, there's no satisfaction, there's no fulfillment, none of that. Older women are not in the business of helping younger women succeed where they failed, because older women that are miserable want young women to end up miserable like them as well. Misery loves company. This is why you don't see Scared Straight and different shows and things like that for women, because women have no interest. In fact, older women compete with younger women, even though there's really no competition. But in her head, she's still competing with that woman. Women are very competitive against amongst one another. And even an older one who's 45 still sees the 21-year-old as her competition. And honestly, she should see that, because most 45-year-old women who are attractive, who are submissive, supportive, all these things that a man wants, when she's 45, she's married already. 45-year-old women who are all the things that men want, who aren't married, they're either aren't married because they are widowed or because they walked away from a marriage. But women who are all the things that men want don't make it to 45 and not be married. It's impossible, because there's too many men out here craving and starving for the type of woman that we're about to listen to in this video. So let me play this video, and then we'll come back, and then we'll break it down, and we'll touch on what needs to be touched on and why this woman is so great. We need to clone her. All right, let's listen to the video.
I believe every man wants a modest woman, a woman that doesn't twerk around, that doesn't drink, that doesn't party, that stays home, that cleans for them, and that cooks, that worships them. And if you show yourself as a party girl, no man will want you. Maybe for one night stand, but that's not wifey material. And I promise you, you wanna be wifey material. And we can all have a past, and you can go through there, and you can build yourself to be wifey material. That's how you're gonna find the happiness. When you're a wife and when you're raising your sons and they are proud of you and not ashamed. And I'm sure with these bikini pictures, they are gonna be ashamed. I honestly believe as a woman, there's nothing more satisfying than giving pleasure to your man.
Of course.
Ooh.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I said it again a little slower.
One more time.
Yeah. And look right into the camera, okay?
Over here.
For a second. As a woman, I believe there's nothing more satisfying than giving pleasure to your man.
Ooh la la.
All right, guys. So I don't even know what more I need to say. I seriously, guys, don't have anything really that I can add on to what she said. She's very articulate. It was beautifully spoken. She hit every point, every nail on the head. You can tell this is a woman that has a father. You can tell that this is a woman who has a father and knows the importance of a man, knows the importance of family, and knows what the nuclear family looks like. She's feminine. She's soft-spoken, well-spoken. She's dressed modestly. She said men like modest women as wives, which is true. Real men, anyway. She said that women that are promiscuous, dress risque, that twerk, quote-unquote, these IG models, men don't party girls, club girls. Men only want them for sex. They don't want them for wives. They don't want them to be mothers of their children. She hit everything on the head, and the appreciation that she has for her man and her potential future husband is astounding. And again, this woman is young. She is speaking to the women on this panel the way older women should be speaking to the younger women and the younger generation. But older women have failed younger women because they see them as competition. And whenever you're in competition with someone, you don't want to help them, you want to beat them. But the delusion is a 45, 50-year-old woman cannot beat a 20-year-old woman, a 23-year-old woman, a 25-year-old woman. There's only a competition taking place inside their head. In the real world, where the men make the decision who they marry, especially the men that they want, there is no competition. They only see the 23-year-old, the 25-year-old. They do not see the 50-year-old. They're not even in their worldview. So it's really a delusional place that older women find themselves in. So this was the good news. This was the good news of the video. So we got the good news out of the way. Now we're going to see the complete opposite of what everything she said and what she's saying. And this is the crux of the problem with marriage, relationships, men, women, and dating in Western society. Again, this channel is to help men. I want to do whatever I can. I look at this channel as me being for men what I wish I had when I went through all the things I went through. I didn't have anyone to help me through different obstacles and difficulties and the unknown things, the things that you don't even go through yet, that you have no experience going through, and you're kind of winging it because you've never seen anyone else go through it. No one kind of shared their experience and reported it with you. I do have older siblings, but they have me by a lot of years, and so they were hitting different areas in their lives when I was hitting different areas in my life. And honestly, they could have imparted some wisdom, but they were victim of the same situation I was. Like I've said before, we didn't have a father. We grew up in a single mother household. So the same things I was suffering from, they themselves were suffering from. There wasn't a whole lot of masculine sound advice that'll go around to help any of us. So I can't blame them or fault them for not imparting on me what I am trying to impart on other young middle-aged men out there. So we heard everything she's got to say. If there was a cloning device, I would petition to clone her over and over and over again. I think that would make a lot of us happy. So now we're going to see the opposite of this. We're going to take a look at some videos that are saying the complete opposite, and they are exhibiting the modern Western women's psyche. Not all. Let me say that. Not all, but the majority, because it is a societal and cultural problem. Whatever society or culture you grow up in, you will be influenced by. No doubt about it. No way around that. You will be influenced by it. So it is not women popping out of the womb with these world views, these ridiculous views. They are being taught. They're being taught in schools, by television, by movies, by parents, by family, by friends, by social media. They are literally being indoctrinated with how and the way they think, the way they move, the way they live, and how they view men, how they view family, and how they view marriage. We have turned women into self-centered, narcissistic individuals. And when I say narcissistic, I'm not saying full-blown narcissism, because I think there's 7 traits that make up a full-blown narcissist. But most modern women exhibit 1, 2, 3 of those personality traits. So, without further ado, we're going to play some of these videos so you can see the drastic difference in what this woman is saying about women, their role, relationship with men, marriage, husband, wife, family, and what these modern women born in the United States has to say about men who want and desire these things. So the first victim we're going to dig into is this video right here from TikTok. Let's play it. Let's hear the ridiculousness, and then let's come back and destroy everything she says.
They're not liking it because, why do men need to go? So
what I find really interesting in a lot of these videos is these people are so fucking close to the point that they are tripping. They are on the line. They're they're falling over the point. And then they completely swerve at the last minute and miss the point fucking completely. This woman is talking about how women react when they hear about passport bros, men going to other countries, usually poorer countries, economically disadvantaged countries, and finding wives, finding women to date, finding women, usually younger women, to essentially take advantage of. And she...
Okay. So she didn't take too long to start going into the nonsense and the foolishness to take advantage of. So women see men who leave Western first world countries and go to third world countries to find wives as in taking advantage of them. Even though men state what the issues are with women in Western society. They don't care what the reasons are that you tell them. They will come to their own conclusions. This is the proof. Let's play some more.
She is supposing that women are feeling triggered because of their loss. Like the loss of a man that could potentially be their husband. When any educated, together, smart woman hears about a man who is a passport bro going to a different country, to a disadvantaged, typically, country, where the women are in need of something because they...
Okay. She used modern feminized language when any educated, well put together woman. This is what modern women always lead with. The reason why she's so triggered is because in westernized society, because women go to college, they get educated, they have careers, they put so much effort into their academia. When we go to another country, when guys go to another country to find a woman who in their mind is less academic, less intellectual, less sophisticated, it's like a slap in their face. So the only way they can rationalize it is that men are going there to take advantage of them, because in their mind they cannot understand, with all the effort that they put into their education, with all the effort they put into their academics, with all the effort they put into their careers to make themselves be successful, make a lot of money, be competent, whatever the case may be, independent, strong, they don't understand how a man could not be attracted to something like that and go to a third world country where in their mind the women do not measure up to the standard that they have set for themselves. Even though men tell them over and over again that we don't care about your degrees, we don't care about your academics, we don't care about your grades, we don't care about what college you went to, we don't care about your career path, even though we keep telling them that, they cannot hear it. Because that is essentially who they are. That is the best part of them. Because most women in the United States are 170 pounds. So they cannot lead with their looks, because most of them are overweight or obese, according to the statistics. Don't get mad at me, I'm shouting data. 170 is the average weight of women in this country. So their physical appearance has been declining since the 60s. So that is not what they lead with anymore, because they can't lead with it. So now they lead with their academic achievements. And when men say that they do not want these things, they do not value these things, women will come up with defense and coping mechanisms on why men are going to other countries. So she said is to go there to take advantage of these women. It must be that, because me as a modern woman, I have everything that a smart, intelligent, masculine, real man would want.
Cannot provide for their families. They cannot provide for themselves. They are in an economically disadvantaged position. When a man goes to a country like that to find a wife specifically, right? It's not because he has met a woman from there that he loves. He is going to put himself in a position of power so that he can get what he wants and needs without needing to provide anything other than the passport and or the financial assistance that these...
Okay, so she's being disingenuous. First she says they're going there to exploit these women, to take advantage of them. They're going to find women who are financially and economically depressed, because these women would then need these men. I will not argue that point, but I'm going to introduce a new point that is not a new point, but it gets lost, especially in this society. Women need men. Let me say it again. Women need men. Men need women. Why do we need women? We need women to start families. We cannot procreate and leave behind a lineage without women. Women carry our seed. Their womb bears our sons and daughters. We need women to start families. Women need men. Women need men for protection, provision, and security. We were created to need one another. Her problem is she doesn't want to need a man. This is the crux of the modern woman. She does not want to need a man. That's why she is so diligent in her academics. This is why she's so diligent in her career. This is why she's so diligent in getting her degree, because she does not want to need and depend on a man. But men and women are at their best when they are needed. Women want to be needed by men, but they don't want to have to need a man. This is really the crux of modern women today. They want you to need them, but they don't want to need you. And they will do everything in their power not to need you. Whereas men who want traditional women will go to countries where the women need them. We all want to be needed. That is an innate longing that we have. Husbands want to be needed by their families. Husbands want to be needed by their wives. Wives want to be needed by their husbands. Wives want to be needed by their families. This is how families and marriages work, needing one another. Women in Western society don't want to have to need men. And she said something at the end that is about power. This is exactly what it is about, and this is why women don't want to be women don't want to need men, because in needing a man they lose power. They are trying to hold on to as much power in the relationship and in the marriage as possible, because if the man decides to do something that she doesn't agree with and exercise power over her, she is then able to walk away. Whereas if she needs that man, she cannot walk away. If that man needs that woman for family, for childbearing, for taking care of the responsibilities, the domestic responsibilities, he cannot just walk away. And men don't walk away, because if you listen to and watch my last video, it's innate in men to take care. Men have an innate need to provide, protect, and provide provisioning. We do that. That's why we do not walk away from marriage. And we never did at a high clip. Men never did that. We have a sense of duty. It's biological. It's built on the inside of us. So we are not trying to hold on to power. That is not why we are seeking out these women. We will do anything for a wife. We require loyalty. Women in Western society, modernized women, they're not loyal. They're disloyal. So let's go back to the video and see what the rest of this nonsense is she has to say.
These people are in need of. I promise you the women that are reacting to that are not mourning the loss of that man, because that man has shown himself to be somebody that needs to put himself in a position of power in order to extract the things he needs from another person. He's not showing up in his value. He's not showing up in his worth. He's not showing up as a man that understands that other people want things.
All right. So she said that he's just trying to exercise power and extract resources. I would argue this is the exact thing that women do. Women want to marry men. Why? Because it gives them power. They can just file for divorce and take half his stuff and the kids. She says they want to extract resources. Well, she's double talking now, because if they come, she said they come from third world countries and they're economically depressed. So they have no resources to extract. So what is it that the man is extracting from her? She has nothing, according to her, economically to provide. But I would argue that what she's saying they're doing is what women here are doing. Women here marry to extract resources from a man. And they push for marriage. Why? For power. Because you can be with a man and not get married. You can be with him for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, the rest of your lives. You don't have to get married. But marriage is such a high priority for women because it gives them what? Security. and the ability to extract resources from that man if and when she decides to leave. And she's college educated, so the stat says she will leave. A divorce will occur. She will file it 70 to 80% of the time, and she's college educated, so that means there's a 90% chance she will file for divorce. So we just destroyed her, and I'm done with that one. So now let's go to the next video. So this is the next video, and let's see what this woman has to say. She's actually not the one that's talking crazy, but it's someone responding to her.
This passport bros video going around where American women are getting kind of upset that
No hate to this creator. I see in the video that she is trying to be nuanced. And I know the internet hates nuance. And I get what she's trying to say. I actually don't disagree with everything she's saying. But what I feel like is missing from this video and the whole defenders of the passport bro thing in general is where are they holding up their side of the bargain? I've seen a lot of the videos and it kind of just goes like this. They feel like America.
All right. She said, where are they holding up their side of the bargain? So she's talking about passport bros, and she's going to say later on in the video about them going to economically depressed countries. So if you are coming from a first world country, which America is, and you go to an economically depressed country, she says, how are they holding up their end of the bargain? Well, they are taking a woman, from your words, out of poverty, taking her family out of poverty, and giving her a completely different life. He is totally changing the trajectory of her life and her kids' life, assuming they get married and have kids. So he is changing the trajectory of her life. He becomes life-changing for her. But I guess that is not enough of a benefit. There must be something else he needs to be doing, so let's see.
American women are ungrateful and disrespectful and they don't cook and they don't clean. First of all, yeah, we do. In fact, all the American women that I know do all the cooking and all the cleaning and all the laundry, and they're raising the children, and they're working a full-time job, and a lot of times they have a side hustle because their full-time job doesn't pay enough. What's not...
All right, so she did a little sleight of hand here. First of all, let's go back to the cooking and cleaning. That is a survival tactic. Women are not cooking and cleaning and taking care of the house and taking care of the kids voluntarily. It's because they're forced. She said they have a full-time job. Most of them have a side hustle to make ends meet. Right, because she's by herself. We all do this. Single men, single women, we all have to cook for ourselves. We all have to clean and maintain our own habitat. We all have to do our own laundry. So what she's saying is sleight of hand. What men are talking about is women doing that willingly and gleefully when they are in a marriage with them. Modern women treat traditional things that women used to do as a chore. They do it grudgingly. No one wants to be with someone who needs to, in order for them to do something for them, it has to be done grudgingly. And she mentions the full-time job and the side hustle. This was a choice. Feminism started out as a choice for women. Women was given a choice to work outside the home or stay wives. That was the choice. Be a traditional woman, be a wife, be a mom, or go out into the workforce. Any woman that's out there working full-time, has kids, has a side hustle, doing all this stuff to make ends meet, it was a choice. No one forced women into the workforce. They could have been wives. And how could they have become wives? By becoming what men want. The same way, if you want to work outside the house, you get educated in it. You go to college, get a degree, technical school, whatever it is that you do to get educated so you're able to do that particular work skill, you do it. If that is not what you want to do, and you want to be a traditional woman, you want to be a wife, then women didn't go out there and work. they became wives. How did they become wives? By being, doing, and becoming what men want as wives. So let's listen to some more of this foolishness.
Being said is that the reason why a lot of women in other countries can be full-time stay-at-home moms or wives is because the man works full-time and takes care of all the finances so that she can. Most women in this country have to work a full-time job, even if they don't want to. Most households...
Again, this is a lie. She said women have to work a full-time job even if they don't want to. It's a choice. This is a choice. Women, listen, women know what men want. We have been screaming it from the mountaintops. The issue is they don't care. Because when we tell them what we want and we tell them the truth, they don't want to become what it is that we want. You cannot talk to women when it comes to truth. Women don't want to hear the truth. They can't hear it. What truth? What truth can they not hear? This truth.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The truth hurts because they spent their lives building themselves up academically and through their career and through all these nonsense things that we say we don't care about. For them to accept the truth, take it in and understand it, it would means that everything they've done up to this point that they think would make them great wives and great mothers have been for naught. So I'm done with this one. So let's go to the next video. This next one is the same thing. The same thing with a twist. Not only does she say the complete opposite of what the first young lady said that was from South America, we have another woman here denying the truth and not listening to what men want with a twist. She makes it racial. Guys, we know that this is not a racial thing. Of course, there are nuances and differences and slight differences in cultures, but this is a Western cultural thing. But because this is an honest podcast, we will entertain and destroy what she says now.
You know what? This is a really valid point. So black women created a trend for black women to follow black women. We didn't bash white women, we didn't bash black men, but for some reason, there are some black men and white women who are upset that black women are following black women. Meanwhile, some black men decided that they were going to create the passport bros trend because black women were not their preference or their cup of tea, and we were not submissive enough, and we were not this, and we were not that. Like literally, they created a trend to disrespect black women and uplift other women. And now they're mad that black women are affirming black women. They don't see the difference in those two trends. One is affirming and one is bashing. But in the meantime, it's not black women doing the bashing.
So you heard the foolishness that she just said. I don't know what it is, but before I even go there, what she said is obviously not true. You have men from Western countries going to other countries where there are black women that they are selecting, whether it be Afro, Latino, whether it be people going to different African countries. It is not about skin color. It is about culture. But I find it very funny that a lot of modern westernized black women tend to take things personal and they tend to racialize it, that someone's picking on black women. No, this is an issue with not all. This is an issue with most Western modernized women. It is not a black or white thing. It does not matter what uniform you play for. Because you are in this society, you will be influenced by the culture. But again, instead of taking what men say, listening to it, dissecting it and understanding it, they do the opposite. They bash men. They find a way to make it the men's fault. They find a way to become the victim because women can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
The truth hurts. So when they hear it, they have to make up their own truth to make them feel better. And the only thing that makes them feel better is if it's your fault. Now I'm done with this video. Now we're going to go to the last and final video, and this will help balance out the other video. It is not a black or white thing. It is a Western society thing.
Honestly, the amount of white dudes with Thai women that are waiting to board international flights, it's an absurdity. It is crazy. Like, half of the couples in this airport right now are beautiful Thai women with super basic white dudes.
There you go. Super basic white dudes. So it's not just black women. It doesn't matter what uniform they wear. It is Western society and Western culture. These super basic white men that these women are looking over are appreciated when they go to other countries, when they go to other societies who still hold tight to traditional gender roles. And they keep saying they're taking advantage of these women because they're bringing them economic independence, economic security, something they can't provide for themselves. But it's the same thing that women here are trying to do. This is why they want high value men. Remember the video of the one girl said the reason why these women can be housewives is because the men are working full time and paying all the bills. Men can do that here. The question is, can the men do it to the level that they want? That is the problem. The women in these other countries are not looking to live extravagantly. They are looking to live modestly. The women in Western society in first world countries are looking to live extravagantly. They are looking for a luxury lifestyle. That's why they're looking for high value, top 5% of men. This is why their arguments fall flat on their faces. And guys, you know I never talk about people's looks on here. That's not a place I ever go, but I'm going to go there because she went there. Now I'm playing this video, but it's muted. She said super basic white guys. Is she not super basic herself? I really don't get it. I don't understand what a lot of these women see. Actually, I do understand. I'm going to tell you the problem. A lot of women rate their beauty off of how they look when they're all done up. So, when they have on the makeup, they have on the eyelashes, they have on all that stuff, that's how they judge their looks. They don't judge their looks when they wake up in the morning, when they, like Kevin Samuels would say, fresh face out of the shower. They judge their looks based on makeup, eyelashes, wigs, and everything else. But for her to say super basic, I mean, she's not, and she's not unattractive. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying she's ugly. But what I'm saying is you have a basic woman talking about basic men. So she's average. She should be able, an average guy would be happy with her. The problem is she wouldn't be happy with an average guy, and that's the issue. So, guys, let me know what you think. Leave your comments and your responses below. I look to hear from you, and I'll talk to you soon.